Well, hey folks, and welcome to Solar Cabin Channel. Time to get serious about this shepherd wagon build now. My back is starting to feel a lot better, so I can finally get to work standing on my feet. For a while there, I had to sit in a chair. So this is how far I've got, and I'm still progressing on this project. So I hope you'll watch the first 3 videos to see how we got to this point. But you can see now what I've got is I've got both end walls attached. That's the bottom side of the end walls. There will be a top piece that goes up above, which I'll be cutting out, but I won't put those on until I put the window and door frames on both sides, because I need something to attach them to, of course. So what I've got here is the side walls and the end wall attachments, and I just want to go over this to show you how these are attached. Now on each corner, you can see what I've done. The panel is attached to the bottom of the floor framing with construction adhesive and screws. Very strong attachment. Then I've got 2x3s for my frame bracing, and I've also added, these are also construction adhesive and screws. Okay, construction adhesive on all of the framing members on here makes a super strong structure. And then just for some added protection from bending this direction, because you're going to get, as you're going down the road, you get wind pressure. It's going to push it that way or this way or side to side. I added in these 70-cent corner L braces, steel L braces. And I probably don't need them, but I decided why not for a little bit of money. It just gives a little bit of extra support from any wind resistance. Then you can see the same thing is done on all 4 corners. And I've already put this side wall on. Okay, and the side wall, the same way as the end wall, it is construction adhesive all along the bottom edge. And it is construction adhesive to these bracing members here, construction adhesive underneath that 2x3 that goes there. And because I use 2 different panels, I use a center brace right there that also has construction adhesive and screws. So you can see that this thing is built extremely strong and tight. And it is very, very tight. Everything is really solid on this construction, because as I'm going down the road, remember, you're going to have wind pressure. From driving down the road, you're going to have wind pressure pushing against the front edge, which has a tendency to push the whole structure and bend the structure over. So you don't want that. So you want a good tight structure and side-to-side wind from gusts of wind as you're going down the road. And also, as you're going over bumpy roads, you're going to have a wobble effect. So you want to make sure that your structure is really tight. So I'm tying everything together with construction adhesive and screws. That will give it a very, very strong structure. So there's one side wall partially built. I'm going to finish this up and do this other side wall here. And then I will attach the top plates, which is the plate that will go from here over. And then I will attach the 3-foot section that goes along the wall here. And once that's done, then I will, before I do that though, and the reason I left this side off is because I'm going to go ahead and do my framing for my doors and my windows, and then attach these top panels, and I can do that easier without this side panel on. So I'll do that first, and then I'll do this side wall, same way I do that one, and then I'll be ready to put my side panels on. So that's the point where we're at now. I also wanted to show you, I'm just using an interior door on my mudroom right now, and it's kind of in bad shape. So I've been watching for a exterior steel door, and they just happened to have one there in their dumpster today when I went down this morning. And that is an exterior industrial grade steel insulated door. If you was to buy that new, you'd pay over $200 for that door right there. And it even comes with the hinges, the industrial hinges. So that will work perfect on the mudroom. But I was really surprised because I seen this and I jumped out of the truck and grabbed it, and I pulled it off the pile to put on my truck. And behind it, hidden behind it, was this rare piece of gold. This is a solid wood door. They don't hardly even make these anymore unless you get a specialty shop to make one for you. This is an old, probably came out of an old shop or off a back porch or something like that. Solid wood door with the 3-panel bottom and a glass top. And this is going to work perfectly in that shepherd wagon. I'm going to have to cut it down on the sides and the bottom to make it fit the size that I want. And then I will make muntins, which are the cross pieces. You've all seen them on the fancy windows. You do muntins so they look like a single pane glass, but it's actually one pane glass. I will do muntins on it and then cut this down. And I might even leave it the original color. I haven't decided yet, because that's an old antique. That's the original white, just old whitewash door. So these doors here you can't hardly even find. And if you was to go to the big city and go to an antique store, they'd probably charge you a couple $100 for a door like that. So that's my dumpster finds. And I feel pretty good. I struck gold in the dumpsters today. And that door for my shepherd wagon I'm especially happy to have, because now I won't have to build a door. I just have to cut that one down and fit it to size. Okay folks, I have finished the sidewall and the end walls, and I'm just about ready to put on the final sidewall over here so that I can go ahead and button this up and paint it before I put on the roof. And I just wanted to show you, this is what that old wooden door that I got free from the dumpster pile looks like now. And what I did is I trimmed it down on both sides and both ends, and then I cut the bottom piece down there, and I scrolled an arch up at the top to give me enough headroom. I've got just about 5 foot 8 inches of headroom from there, and you can see that it works out really nice. And then I'm going to add some muntins, which are cross pieces that will go across the window to give it that old-fashioned door look. Now in a traditional shepherd wagon, they would generally use a much narrower door. They would use a 20-inch door. They would move it all the way to the side, and that would give them room for a big wood stove over there. However, I'm not going to be putting a big wood stove. I'm going to put a tiny wood stove in this, and so I will show you that in a minute. But let me walk you around the inside to show you the inside so you can see how much space is in this. As you can see, both end walls are cut the same, and these are cut from 2 sheets of plywood. So there's a sheet of plywood on the bottom, sheet of plywood on the top, with my shed roof design. Instead of the round roof, I'm doing the shed roof design like I told you, because it's much easier to seal this type of roof, and will also give me a place to mount solar panels on top of this. Now I've intentionally left out some braces. There will be a brace that goes across here and a brace that goes across there, but I wanted to show you that this is 2 panels, so they're connected together. And I put up the framing members first, and then I put the other panel on top of it, which makes it much easier to prop when you're doing these, working with a large sheet of plywood. Just makes it much easier to work with. Now that center piece there, that is not glued in yet. It is just temporarily screwed in, because I haven't decided what size window I'm going to use for this. I'm going to look for a window that matches this old window and door here, solid wood window and door. So I'm going to eventually, when I find my window that I want to fit in there, I may have to move that brace, so I don't want to glue it in yet. I will attach another brace right at the top up there at the frame that will be glued in and screwed, but that one will be left temporary so that I can move it, so that I can frame in whatever size window I end up with. There will be another brace right along the bottom here from this end of this panel that goes over to that end, and it will be right between those, because that will act as the framing for my bed. The bed will fit all the way up against the plywood. Over these it will be grooved so it goes over this plywood. And then I'm going to be using a 30-inch bed, which is called a cot size mattress. However, there's plenty of room in here. This is almost 8 feet, to give you an idea of perspective here. This is almost 8 feet in here. And so there is room for a cot size mattress. There's room for a twin size mattress, which is a 40-inch mattress, or you could even do a full-size mattress for 2 people, and it would come over and still give you enough room to have a dry sink and even your small wood stove if you wanted to in there. So that's how much room is in here. You could, if you wanted to, even put in 2 twin mattresses or a full-size mattress and a cot-size mattress bunk above it. Okay, so there's a lot of different options and ways that you can use the inside of this space. Now you can see that there's braces along the top wall. There will also be a brace in the middle of that panel. I just haven't put it in yet because I wanted to show you how these panels go up. There's a brace at the bottom, and all of these braces in here are attached with construction adhesive and screws. So this thing is built like a boat or an airplane. It is very solid and very tight, so that it won't move in the wind, or when you're going down bumpy roads it's not going to move. So here's that door from the inside, frame mounted. Now the only thing that I have to do is up there at the top I will need to scroll some pieces. Probably I'll do them out of OSB and just scroll a couple of pieces and then laminate them together, and that will make the top of the door frame up there. I haven't done that yet. And the door is in, but I haven't got the door handles on. And you can see that this is a fairly wide door, and I centered my door, like I said, in a traditional shepherd wagon, they would have a much narrower door, and they would have a big wood stove over there. But I'm going to put in a small wood stove, which I'm going to show you here in a minute, which is really cute. But I centered my door, and this is a 32-inch door. Now the reason that I'm doing this is because I'm also going to use this as my toy hauler. I've got a really nice mini bike, off-road mini bike, that I want to be able to take with me when I go camping. So this door will allow me to have my wood stove over here, and I still have enough room that when I open up the door, I can bring my mini bike in and park it right here in the center here, and be able to take that along with me. So that's the reason I went with a wider door. If you want to go with a narrower door, you could, and maintain the traditional shepherd wagon look. So now I'll show you what that little wood stove looks like in here. Okay, so this is the little tiny cute wood stove I got from Guide Gear, and it is a plate steel wood stove, very well made. I did a complete video on it if you want to go and watch that. And this is going to fit right in there, and then I will put fireboard protection behind on both sides of it over there, and fireboard protection underneath it, so you don't have to worry about that. And this is really small for a place like this. It has that old style wood stove Vardo look without taking up all the room in the place like a larger stove would do. It has a nice flat cooktop, so I can cook a meal on it, and it will also heat this up if it gets real cold. It will probably run me out of here. Even as small as it is, a little stove like this in a place like this will actually get really hot. So if you don't want a wood stove, this is just what I'm doing for my place. If you don't want a wood stove, I'd recommend maybe one of the Buddy propane heaters. One of those would easily heat one of these places, little campers up. Shepherd wagon campers. It'll heat one of those up for pennies. Okay, so you may want to go with a propane, and I actually have one of those too. If I decide later that the wood stove is too much, I can always switch over to the propane Buddy. But I love this little tiny wood stove. Thought it looked great, and it really goes with the old-fashioned look of this shepherd wagon, so I'm going to be using that in here. And then I will be doing a video here in the near future of the first burn off of this stove, which I'm going to do outside, and show you some of the appliances and kettles and stuff like that I have for this, and the accessories that I got for it. Alright folks, that is the shepherd wagon, and it's coming right along. All I need to have left to do is to put on this side wall, and then I can put in my additional few braces that I got to put in, and then it will be ready to paint, which I'll do in the next video. And I need to paint it, and then it'll have all its trim work on. So I hope you'll stay tuned. Please watch the rest of the videos if you haven't seen them before. Get yourself a free copy of the plans. All you need to do is go to simplesolarhomesteading.com. Click on the link for micro cabin plans, and go get you a free copy of the plans. So if you want to build one of these, you can. And please do like and subscribe to my channel. And you know, while you're on my website over there, you might find some other cabin plans, because I've got lots and lots of cabin plans over there that people have built that have turned out really nice. All right, folks. Thanks for stopping by, and look for me in the next video.